Hey everyone, Ruth here. I'm just about to sit down and actually record this video for you and have a chat. And guess what? Someone decides they want to do the lawn and go crazy with the whippersnipper. So I'm hoping you can't hear that, but if you can, just ignore it. Try to ignore it if you can. But today, I want to talk to you about how much sleep do we actually need? How much sleep does a child actually need? Now, a lot of mums ask me that, oh, how much sleep does my child need? And honestly, there is a range. I think you will kid yourself. And hopefully you don't think that all children sleep the same and all children have the same amount of sleep. And just because you have a 6-month-old, another 6-month-old is supposed to sleep identical. You're going to set yourself up for really failure and disappointment if that is going to be the case. Now, in terms of sleep, let's go through. This is according to the National Sleep Foundation. Okay, so let's go through every single stage and age group as to how much sleep they need. Okay, so number one is obviously newborn, 0 to 3 months. Now, 0 to 3 months, they need anywhere between 14 hours to 17 hours. Whichever that sits in, it's still considered normal, okay? So it doesn't have a specific number, it's a range, remember that. So that's a newborn. An infant from 4 months to 11 months, they need 12 to 15 hours. Okay, so as you can see, the range is huge, a difference of 3 hours. And then for toddlers, 1 to 2 years old, you need 11 to 14 hours. Okay, so as you can see, the sleep needs start to drop as well. And then lastly, for preschool, I won't go more than that, but preschooler is 3 to 5 years old, you need between 10 to 13 hours. Now, the bigger question is, how much does a child need? Does it ebb and flow, or do they tend to stick to one total? I guess the thing to consider is that on a normal day versus a day that you have more activity, maybe more stimulation. Different personalities as well tend to have different sleep needs, and so you have to consider that, okay? But overall, on average, your child should have a good consistent number. So say for example, your infant might be a 13-hour baby. If you know that, then your schedule is going to be tailored around that. A while ago, I talked about wake windows and how I really don't believe in having age appropriate wake windows, because let's take for example an infant, okay? The range is between 12 hours to 15 hours. Now, if a 6-month-old is needing to do 15 hours, okay, versus another 6-month-old who only wants to do 12 hours, you can see the routine is really different. And the biggest difference is that the nap durations will be much shorter and the wake windows much longer for the baby that has less sleep, right? That's just math. It makes sense. And so, is there such a thing as age appropriate wake windows? Yes and no. It's always a range. It's never a number. So if you go through your child's sleep, whether it's baby or toddler, and you have and you're fixated on a particular number, you're gonna have a lot of difficulties navigating through your child's sleep. If you think more of a range and how it's different shades of gray, so to speak, then you're more likely to be able to be flexible, okay? And so that's how much sleep your child needs. So then it comes down to the question, okay, what is my child's sleep needs personality? And obviously I teach this in my course, okay? So my clients and my members, they know this, and it is really important to actually know what your child's sleep needs personality is like. Because if you don't know, then you're always going to stumble. You're always going to... I mean, if you think about personality, people usually talk about... Personality just means a range of behavior, okay? So let's take a behavioral personality. Say someone has an introvert versus an extrovert behavior. Now, if if you behave a certain way towards an introvert versus an extrovert, they're going to respond very differently too. For example, an introvert needs time alone to recharge, whereas an extrovert needs to be around people to recharge. However, if you swap that around and you make an extrovert live on your own, not live on your own, but stay on your own for ages, they're going to go crazy. Likewise, if you put an introvert and you put them in a situation where they're with people all day long with no breaks and no private moments to recharge, they're going to turn into a different person. They're going to struggle a lot and be really depleted. Okay, so coming back to your child's sleep, they have a sleep personality too. Okay, and so a lot of parents don't even know that, and that's the problem. If you don't know that, then you're gonna act a certain way towards your child, and your child's gonna react either positively or negatively because of this situation. Does that make sense? And so, for example, I can go into sleep needs personality a little bit more in another video, but I just want to highlight in this video here. Okay, for example, let's take an infant, for example, okay, 4 to 11 months. Now, with an infant between 4 to 11 months, if that's you, then anywhere between 12 hours to 15 hours is still in a range of normal. However, there is a point that your child will be sort of sitting at, whether it's 13 hours, 13 and a half, 12 and a half, even 12 hours, okay? So if you look at 12 to 15 hours, if your child is clocking in a sleep around 12 hours, then it makes sense that your child is a low sleep needs baby, right? Common sense, logical. If your child's clocking at 15 hours of sleep, now this is good quality sleep, okay? It's not 15 hours of like waking up every hour, then your child has much lower sleep needs than that. That's a topic for a different day. But let's say a child is sleeping super well, sleeping through or waking up once as a 6-month-old, and they're wanting to do 15 hours. Hey, then it makes perfect sense that this child is a high sleep needs baby. So, and if you have 2 kids, mums of multiple kids, okay, not just one, then you're actually going to see this. Now, it's highly unlikely both children are going to be exactly the same. And this is another topic for another day. I can go on and on and on, but hello, you cannot apply the same thing for the first child as your second child. You can already see that personality is so different. Everything's, when you have 2 kids or more, you're going to say to me every child is different, because they are. They're human beings. They're created differently and uniquely. Okay, so to apply the exact same thing, oh, I did this with my first child, I didn't work with my second child. Oh yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like you can't parent the same way with your first one and your second one. You can't treat everybody equally. They have their own little personalities and nuances and unique styles to doing things and needs. So I don't even know where I'm at now. I've just been going on for ages. But yeah, so let's go back to personality, sleep needs personality. So just you do need to learn how to identify, okay, is my child a low sleep needs, an average baby, or a high? My 2 boys, my first one, he's more of a low average kind of baby, in between a low and an average. So which was one of the pain points for me, because this is what I used to do. Obviously, I didn't know any better. I used to take the routines from the internet and try to pluck it and put it into his schedule, and he will not freaking do this schedule. He always either wakes up early, or he's always crying in his sleep and like don't want to go to sleep, a lot of resistance, waking up a lot at night. And you know what, like hindsight is always beautiful. I look back and I realize, oh my god, no wonder he's got a lower sleep needs than an average routine. I needed to customize that to him. So, whereas my second son has extremely high sleep needs, he has really, really high sleep needs, which means that an average routine also didn't quite work for him. I mean, it's closer to, you tend to get more difficulties as a low sleep needs baby. So this video is super long, by the way, I'm so sorry, but last thing I want to leave you with, hopefully you're getting some value out of this though, it's just me just unloading my knowledge to you, and hopefully you get something out of this. But I just want to say this, especially if your child is a low sleep needs baby, there is a reason why things are not working out for you. It's not the lack of trying. It's not the lack of not knowing what to do. It's not that you're a bad mom. It's just that you gotta approach things differently. And from what I can see, nothing really from the internet or the sleep books, the general sleep books that you get addresses low sleep needs babies, but they do exist out there. And so if you're having issues, there is a reason why you need an out of the box approach for an out of the box personality type. I'm gonna leave you with this. This is super long, but if you have any questions, let me know. I can talk a little bit more about sleep needs personality next time if you want me to, but hope you're blessed with this. Talk soon. Bye.